SuntoShineAstrology, and I am here to talk to you guys a little bit about the lunar eclipse that's going to be happening in Sagittarius today. Strawberry moon, and the north node in Gemini is in 29 degrees, which is a critical degree. And so I took my dog out for a walk. This is kind of funny. I'm going to do like a general reading, and then I'll have like a fun little pick a card, like 3 different categories, 3 pick a cards, and you can just choose from them if you want to have a little more fun with the extended version of the energy. But I'm just going to do like a general reading for now with this, just to kind of pull some tarot cards and talk a little bit. So lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, with the north node in Gemini in a critical degree. So Sagittarius and Gemini are polarities, and anytime you get polarities, having a conversation, it's an exact opposition, and so it is a time of clarity between the lower mind and the upper mind. And so I kind of like, personally for this type of one, I'm just gonna like feel it out. Like I feel this card a lot. This is how I actually draw cards for me when I'm at home. I feel you. Anyhow, when you have these like direct oppositions like this, it's a time to get your lower mind and your upper mind on the same track. And a lot of times when we're dealing with our lower mind's energy, we're dealing with like our immediate environment and all the distractions and all the chaos and all the decisions that needs to be made in the lower mind. But in the upper mind is the big picture. Is the potential of the energy that is ruminating and circulating and ever changing in your immediate environment. It's kind of like what ends up happening from all of that energy that is buzzing around. And so I really like to do readings on big events because it really just helps. And I do basic Celtic crosses. If you don't like it, I don't care. Now, mind you, I have a Gemini rising, and this particular lunar eclipse is going to be in my 7th house. So I may have a tendency to be very blunt about what I'm seeing, or I may have a tendency to talk a lot about the big picture because I'm so influenced by this energy. It's really good to get a reading from a Gemini in this particular energy because okay, so I love the Light Seers deck. I do not do reversals in the Light Seer deck, so we're just going to stay in the high vibe of this energy, which is Sagittarius energy anyway, and Gemini for that matter. Normally I do reversals for myself, but I don't do reversals in this particular situation. So we have the sun. To me, this is like kind of our like direct environment, our immediate environment, kind of our past, like what we're dealing with as far as what's in our head. This is exactly the lunar eclipse's energy, and this is the potential of the energy as we move into the outcome. This is what we don't necessarily see. It dwells in our mind, but it is in the subconscious, and this is just the conscious processing of this energy, like what we're conscious about. And so I'm going to take some cards from my astrology deck that I have. We'll just talk a little bit more about this eclipse. So anytime we're in a critical degree in a north node, we are trying to figure out the direction that we're going in. And there is a lot of duality in this energy. And I love that we have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. That's pretty powerful. I love even seeing emotion showing up in this reading, just because technically this is air energy, and air energy is very, it's like it's just, I don't know, it's a little more emotionally detached. But the reason why I think we're seeing some water energy show up in this reading, and we have the wish card, which is like, understand that's what Jupiter's all about, is granting your wishes. And it's showing up in this reading, which is so great. I always look at this as like, I make a wish in what I want to have fulfilled emotionally. So this particular lunar eclipse has some pretty crazy energy. So it is in a trine with Chiron and Aries. It is in opposition with the sun and, of course, Venus in retrograde. And it is squaring off with water energy, which is Mars in Pisces, and a square in Neptune in Pisces. Sorry, hold on. Okay, well, it wants to jump out, so I will take it. Plus, it's the 12th house. Totally makes sense to me that it's going to want to like make itself known. When we're dealing with Pisces energy, that is always the 12th house. It's the final house in the zodiac. So it is showing up and trying to talk to us a little bit about the emphasis on that 12th house work. And that 12th house work is essentially where we kind of face a culmination, and a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius is a culmination. It's a culmination in the emotional realm, because the moon represents emotions in astrology. So it is so nice. One of the things I love that I'm seeing is it's so nice to see that we have the Nine of Cups in this really uplifting vibe, which means just we can sit down and we can make a wish in this energy. I'm going to tell you why this is such a powerful card and such a powerful eclipse season, is because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. It is in Capricorn, which is in retrograde, and it is in conjunct with Saturn and Pluto, both in retrograde, both in Capricorn, and in a sextile with Neptune and Pisces. So I thought about the relationship between Neptune and Pisces and a Sagittarius energy, both being ruled by the same planet, thinking about the fact that a wish showed up and wanted to be granted. So you really need to think a lot about what you want this particular eclipse season, and you have to dream big in this energy. You have to look at the big picture. You cannot see the reason why Sagittarius energy is the opposite of it is Gemini, is because we tend to think a little bit more simplistically, a little bit more on the shallow side, a little bit more interactively with our environment. But you always have to look at the big picture of what is the ripple effect of any decision that you're making right now. And so that's why we're seeing you know, these energies coming up, but there's such a positivity in Jupiter's energy. There's such a high vibe in Jupiter's energy. And so Jupiter grants wishes. It is the planet that induces expansion of the elevated mind, in particularly combined with the 12th house. And in this, it says, take the slow boat and dream. Peaceful, tranquil energy gently envelops you. Enjoy your solitude. So that is another thing that's a little opposing about the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, is that it's being so heavily influenced by isolation energy. Having to pull back, having to self-soothe, having to be extremely calm and compassionate with yourself. When I see Gemini, and Sagittarius energy, I see this kind of energy, just really exuberant, external, just really active in just wanting to step out and have a really good time with energy. The sun is really important in this energy because the sun is in Gemini, and the sun right here, and this is kind of in like our energy that's been culminating this whole time up to this point. That energy is in Capricorn, and it is the sun in Gemini is in almost an exact, I mean, it's in 15 degrees, so it's in the same degree, but it's just a teeny bit off of Mars and Pisces. So when I see Mars and Pisces energy, I feel the hangman energy. There's a stagnation, there's a pause, there's a, I need to think things through. And it's an intentional pause. It's an intuitive pause that you need to just kind of relax about what's going on in your immediate environment and take a look at things from this elevated perspective. And remember, when you're in the hanged man position, I've actually done this when you're in yoga and you hang from those, you know, these little rubber bands. And I'm sorry, I don't know what they're called. It's just such a freeing feeling, and the blood's rushing to your brain, and you're just feeling all that blood rushing to your face and your brain, and you're just feeling like all of this intense energy just around, you know, your head and your crown chakra. And it just really increases, when you think about it, just logistically, it just increases the flow of blood to your brain way faster, which brings a lot of things to your brain. I mean, the blood is it delivers a lot of things in your body. And so that's why, you know, being in an inverted position is so healthy for you. So many people believe in it. And it's why it's so important in yoga practices, is because it does deliver, you know, kind of like a direct energy push to your brain, which causes, of course, some elevated thinking. So I'm going to pick one more. I'm a life path 3. I always go for a 3. And so this is earth energy, but material comforts are important in life. Just to make sure that they're not your only comfort. That would be the polarity of being in earth energy, is that you're getting to be a little too materialistic, which in fact is something that everybody struggles with, I think, at one point, is, you know, that need for, and I mean, if you just take a look at this, and we have in our subconscious, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is earth energy. It is the soil on which our ideas and our growth actually takes root. It's like before the seed. It's like what it roots in. If you notice in this, what this particular pentacle is rooting in is this person's vision, and it's going through their fingertips because they are actively creating a new start. So it's a really, I think this is such a beautiful, and we have pentacles right above it. So the way that I look at this in my version of the Celtic cross is I look at this card as like the consciousness, subconscious, the bridge, and the subconscious. So this card is at the heart of everything. It's the bridge between our consciousness and the unconscious. Sometimes there's a resistance. And in this case, it's the wanting and the yearning and the needing to really enjoy creating something that makes you feel good about yourself, which is so, like, come on. So I'm just going to get some clarity. This card always just totally reminds me of Sagittarius, like, you don't even know. The kings in this deck are so hot. Sorry. But it's like every one of them. So I look at these 3 cards. So this is all the culminating energy. This is the energy that was leading up to this moment where we're having this lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And it's the needing to make a decision, and in fire. And fire is Sagittarius's energy. And so it is getting all fired up about making a decision. And I feel like now you're getting to the point to where you're finally starting to feel that sun's energy, feel the rays, feeling hopeful, feeling energized to make this decision and to finally start moving forward, which I feel like all of us have been desperately in these suppressed states filled with just intense oppression, whether it be just on a social level or on a mental level or on a material level, like we've been oppressed and not able to really control our circumstances. So this is the King of Cups coming out in this energy. I'm happy to see it in this energy because this to me is Jupiter's energy in this beautiful sextile with Neptune and Pisces. And so this is just being grounded and just emotionally secure with the direction that you're going in and confident to move in that direction. And Jupiter will bless that direction. And mind you, Jupiter is in Capricorn, which is in retrograde. So it's in this past-based energy. So this is something that has impacted you on a foundational level for a very long time. And so you're moving past it. You're expanding past this obstacle, this 12th house work that is so difficult sometimes to get past. So I want to look at the energy that you're moving forward with. So we have the Six of Cups, and it's just such a cute, it goes from puppy to growth to the dog, and just the love and the energy that it took for this person to go with this, to grow with this dog. And now they just have this immensely close emotional bond. And so something you are doing, something that you really want, something that's going to help you expand in this energy, is something that has been with you for a very long time. And this is something that you are getting back in touch with. So when we're in Jupiter and Capricorn, and we're in a retrograde, and it's conjunct with Saturn and Pluto, which is in Capricorn, all in retrograde, the positive outcome of that comes Neptune and Pisces, which is this really beautiful sextile. So it is time for this Nine of Cups moment for you to fully expand on that. So let's take a look and see what, lots of cups today. Love the Four. See, this is just such a beautiful reading. I love this reading today. I hope you can see everything. I can't really tell on my camera. Let's see. Just trying to see. Okay. So, let's do this. All right. So when I see the Seven of Cups, okay, I literally get sevens all the time. I'm so in tune with sevens at this point. I've been getting them for about a month now, and I do daily readings, and then every day I get a seven. It doesn't matter in what suit. So this was having a lot of options to choose from, it feeling somewhat tumultuous and somewhat confusing as you are trying to figure out where you want to take this. And it's a little apprehension about what decision to make as of now. And of course you would be at that stage because we're in this critical degree of Gemini. It's like you're making a move that could win the game, or you're making a big move that can secure, I think of chess, that can secure like a prominent piece, and somebody's playing into your hand. That's what this kind of feels like, because we go from the Seven of Cups, we go to the Six of Cups, and then we go to the Four of Wands. And again, the energy is we're being pulled back into the past, and we're going back to the basics about what do we really want, what do we really need right now. And now understand that Earth energy is really important to pay attention to right now, because Capricorn energy in retrograde is all about, grounding yourself, setting a foundation that stands the test of time. That would be your Four of Wands. And something that's emotionally fulfilling to you. I mean, something that makes you feel good. There's so much playful energy in this reading today. I really love it. I do. I do think there's a lot of playing in this energy, and there is some need to kind of really, let's take a look at the Bridge card. The Chariot. So the Chariot goes along with the Seven right here, right? The Chariot take a look at those energies together. This is the strengths energy. So the 8 of Pentacles, the strength to keep moving forward, the strength to make the changes that are necessary, so that you can have this movement. So a 6 of Pentacles is a short-term victory, but definitely this is more of a Gemini victory. Okay, so a Gemini victory would be something that's short-lived. So we have Mercury and Cancer in this lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and this would be our environment right now, like what we're. Okay, this was what brought us to this point, the 12th house work, and then this part of the reading is more like what will come of all of this, the big picture. We can't look too short term. We can't look at these like really, I don't know, these really. It's like a loss, but it's like I mean, it's like a win, but it's not a win that is gonna be longevity. It's a win for right now, but I definitely feel like the world, is really lightening up. We're starting to see the potential of what could be as we move forward. And we're starting to see, like in the US, that our country's starting to open up, and in other parts of the world, they're opening up. And so there is that sense of getting back to normal. Now we can have movement. Now we can proceed. There's not this just indecisive energy that I see in the 7 of Cups. It's like we can start to move forward, start to rebuild from this point to where we can go back to where we were and start working toward this Four of Wands energy, to where we finally get to have that wish fulfilled. So let's see what's going on consciously. Okay, another 4. So the emperor rules the 4s, and so 4s are foundation, and 4s do represent kind of like a Capricorn energy and an Aries energy for that matter, but it's just that grounding, that root. I just keep thinking of this root that the seed that we're planting, and where we're planting it, how we're nourishing it, and how we're helping it grow. As you notice, you guys, we have the 6 of Cups, we have the 7 of Cups, we have the 5 of Cups, we have the King of Cups, 9 of Cups. So there's a lot emotionally on the line here. And I think some of us have felt rather I think we tried really hard on an emotional level to get to keep it together, and I think some of us are in protection mode, and some of us are still struggling to get the forward energy, the momentum, the forward energy moving forward. And we are technically on a very unconscious level. We've reevaluated everything. We've simplified everything. We actually know at this point, I think of Uranus. So Uranus is in Taurus right now. And this to me is Uranus and Taurus, is planting the seed that will grow and manifest something that will stand the test of time. And so it's in such a positive energy. This can't be ego related, because I mean, this has to be something that's for the greater good of everybody. There's a gift you have, there's something that you can do, there's something you have to give to the world that's uniquely your sun, uniquely you, that is going to be very beneficial. And maybe this energy was to pause us, to get us to go back to, well, yeah, that's what this was all about, and that's what this all meant. Okay, so subconsciously, yeah, on it, I definitely can feel the fact that we're sitting in this 2 of Swords energy, where there's 2 paths we can take. There's the path that we were on before everything happened in the world, and then there's the new path that we have found just recently, this new journey that we're willing to go down. And honestly, it promises such great potential. I mean, this is the 10 of Pentacles. This is just such abundance. This is the reward that you get from working really hard to get things going again. But you have to get past, to me, this is such a Gemini type of energy. There's a duality, and the duality can sometimes make us not know which decision to make. Totally normal in this type of energy. And understand, when we have a square, okay, so when we have a square between fire energy and when we have a square between water energy, it creates steam and confusion. And so you being here is really no big deal. Like, I feel like that's very, I'm atypical of what we would experience whenever you have this watery energy, you know, in the square with Mars. And, you know, Mars hates being in Pisces energy because this is the halt. This is the, hey, you think this through, because before you move on, it will have this big meaning in your life. And Geminis like to be a lot more impulsive with their energy, and Sagittariuses have this expansion. And so there's just this opposition between, I would say the opposition between your lower mind and your upper mind could be represented in this card. It could be the difference between you know, like the sun and the moon's energy. The moon is your emotion. The sun is your, right here, the sun is your, it's your soul. It's your authentic self. It's what pushes you forward. It's action oriented. But then, you know, you have the moon that is in this really kind of aspected by this really watery energy that's got you in the feels. I actually took my dog for a walk this morning, and there was literally people duking it out and fighting and screaming at each other, and it was very irrational behavior. And I totally thought it was so like dead on for what we're going to go through, because as we expand, so does everything else. So good energy expands and bad energy expands too. And if we don't feel like we have control over our circumstance, then we're going to feel defensive, and we're going to be all sag on this, and we're going to be like all confrontational and belligerent and argumentative and blunt and to the point. You know, we're not going to sugarcoat anything to make sure that somebody's feelings are okay. That could definitely be something that comes out of this energy. And the square that we're having with the Earth's energy in reverse, it could just mean that this is to jolt you out of just this kind of self-imposed area where you're kind of keeping your energy stagnant, you know? So we're going to take a look at this. What kind of wishes, what surrounds your wish here? So we have the Four of Cups. We have the Four of Swords. Fours. So fours is that energy that has to do with our foundation. It has to do with stability. It has to do with grounding ourselves. It has to do with being in control of our circumstances. And if you've got this wish here, and you got the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups around it, this is just, wow, this is just kind of like, then, you know what I kind of noticed too is like this Hangman, we're consciously needing to pause and tune into this energy on a very elevated level. So let me do this because I brought cards out specifically for Sagittarius energy, oracle cards. And the reason I brought these out is because they have everything to do with the journey we're on. Because Sagittarius is about boundaries. It's about going down a road that can lead you to something more exciting. It's about traveling. It's about expanding your potential and elevating yourself to the point to where you're living a much more authentic life. So let's see what this has to say. So this is the Soul's Journey lesson cards. I really like it. I do a lot of oracle work. So okay, sorry, my hair is everywhere, so long. Okay, so we have patience, we have acceptance, and we have doubt. So acceptance and doubt are a polarity, obviously, right? And since we're heavily immersed in a polarity, it seems like it makes sense to me that these cards we're experiencing this polarity and that we need to have patience. So the patience is, I accept everything that happens in divine order. This is the 4 energy that we're talking about, just resting, meditating, tuning in, calming down, and really moving out of this emotional charged lunar eclipse. And then there's acceptance and doubt. So acceptance is I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change, and doubt is I release the need to know all of the answers. This will help you get out of this hanged man position. A lot of people believe that the hanged man represents a stalemate, stagnant energy, a pause, not moving forward. And so if you're going to release from that, now mind you, I want to just point this out. We have the 4 of Pentacles, we have the 4 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Swords. And the 4s are so important right now, because if you just take a look at so 4s to me is the Emperor card, which is the Aries card, which is squaring off with Mercury, our mind right now. Chiron in Aries is squaring off with Mercury. So we're in protection mode. You know, we're not ready to make a decision, even though there's an opportunity right here. It's like, can you take it? There's this opportunity here, but it's like, you're not ready. I mean, you're exhausted. We're mentally overwhelmed. We have a square in Pisces energy. This is crazy making energy. This is really being overwhelmed with your situation. And it just in general, there seems like to be such a lack of compassion in the world, a lack of love in the world. And it's starting to get to everybody, I feel like, on some level. So let's go ahead and... So the next cards we have is the Enchanted Map. Of course, if you're talking about Sagittarius energy, we need a map, right? We need a map to help us move forward in this energy. Okay, just going to make sure we're still filming. And we are. Okay. All right, so we have making a choice. Ooh, that's the 2 of Swords down here. The Strength card. And the Wizard of Awareness. I love the Wizard coming up. I have such good vibes with this one. This one's fun. I love Sagittarius energy. It's my 7th house, so of course it's like the most attractive energy ever for me. Let's talk a little bit about this. These 3. So we have making a choice. Let's talk a little bit about what our choice is, what's going on with our choice. We're in the subconscious mind here, and we have a choice. We have a choice where we can, let's take these out. We can have this really beautiful, abundant life, or we can stay in the duality of thinking about having the abundant life, thinking about the decisions we have to make, but staying in a stalemate, trying to get this movement that we need, this bridge to go from here to there, to move past all of this stuff and to get ourselves out of this stuck energy. Some of this stuck energy is not our fault. Some of this stuck energy is technically, some of us are still locked down. Some of us don't have jobs. Some of us don't have money. So there is that feeling of being stuck, but what you don't understand is that you have the Ace of Pentacles here, and you have the 10 of Pentacles potential energy with the Wish card here, the emotional abundance that can be yours if you pull yourself out of your thoughts and your emotions and just make a choice to be happy. Isn't that what all Sages do? They make choices to be happy. The Strength card is Leo card. It also reminds me of the sun's energy. So let's talk about what's sitting here, because the strength, it does remind me of that. And it's a 4. Again, 4s are coming up all over the place. We have repeated patterns of 4s. So some of you are really worried about your stability, your financial future, your job, things that make you really comfortable in your immediate environment. And that's why we're squaring off in all this Neptune and Pisces energy, because basically what that's doing is we're worried, but we're incessantly worrying, and we're causing a stalemate in our energy. So the strength is to pull yourself out of those mindsets, to recognize the potential of this energy, to put a wish out there, to just intend it, to draw it to you, to create attraction in the universe. But first, you got to make a decision, because obviously there's a problem with generating your Earth's abundant energy. So maybe some of you need to work on being more grounded. Get in touch with nature, touch a tree, just feel like you have roots down into the ground, even if you're living in a 10-story building, just roots that you're going down to the ground, and drawing the energy of stability to you is going to be really helpful in energy like this. And then we have the Wizard of Awareness. And I love that he's a 3. 3 is a very extreme number. There's the middle, there's one extreme, and then there's another extreme. Plus I'm a 3 life path, but neither here nor there. And just making sure I'm still, yeah. So Wizard of Awareness is combining the extremes and routing them into a central energy. And if you can pull yourself out of swings and polarities, right? If we can pull ourselves out of the polarity of a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius and Gemini, and if we can put ourselves in the middle of that energy, then we can start to get to the point of what we value most. I think of Gemini being the third, being your third house. Gemini that's the house of communication, but also just the third sign in the zodiac, which means you have to take a look at yourself, your sun, right? Your strength card. And then you have to take a look at your Gemini energy. You know, what do you want your immediate environment to look at? And then the middle energy, of course, between those two signs is then is Taurus energy. And right now Uranus is in Taurus in a gorgeous sextile with Mercury. So there's lots of potential to get something to materially manifest if you want to, if you can envision yourself with this type of scenario instead of this scenario. See, we're in extremes. Either way we can go. I've got one more traveler card here. See what else is emphasizing our journey through this Sagittarius energy as we expand our boundaries and grow from this lunar eclipse. Okay. There's just a lot of energy, and you guys be mindful that this energy can set people off. They are already very mentally sensitive. There's been a mental strain on the majority of people. And so being too blunt, not being compassionate, especially when you're trying to talk through things, when you're trying to understand somebody, you really need to tune into where they're coming from as much as your own perspective, so that you don't set things going into emotion that literally expands into an out of control situation. Okay. Let's take a look at these 3. Okay. We have begin now, take your first step. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely the sun. Definitely. We have so much energy. I just love, like, grant your own, like, try to make that wish start to come true. Choosing your own path. Choosing your path. All is possible in this energy. And vast vistas, expand your horizons. There are so many cards in here, you guys, these are all I would technically say are so Sagittarius. Begin now. You're choosing your path. You're just impulsively, you're just choosing to move forward, to move on, to wander away from these oppressive situations. And then you're expanding your horizons. This will lead you in a new direction and cause tremendous growth and expansion, no matter what journey you choose to go down. These are great cards. Okay, so let me pull all of this stuff up because I'm going to take this a little bit further because I love doing this and I have the resources to do this now. Okay. Pull this aside. I was going to make 3 piles, but I'm not going to have time because there's so much going on in this reading. So it's just going to be 1 for this reading today. Okay. So I always like to just add a little chance to this reading. Oops, I'll get that later. I can't even see what it is. Okay, so I like to I love to have a little word game here. It's just fun. You know, you guys, this is such intellectual energy. So it's really fun to kind of use this intellectual energy to see as many clues as you can about where you're supposed to go. So words, I see clues. That's funny, I said that and it's like in here. I see, oh, this is fun. I see, oh, I thought I did. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I thought okay, well, Finn. Ooh, do I have it? Oh, I do. Guides, or guide. You're guided in this energy. Let's see here. We have kin, family. Some of you may be moving away from or moving toward your family members. You've been far away long enough. Fun. Fun is a word for a Sagittarius. Lots of fun. They love lots and lots and lots of fun. You guys are probably going to be able to make tons more words. Yeah, there's also like slide. Oh, I'd love this. This is what I love too. Yeah, kind. Yeah, we need some kindness in this world right now. This world is really crazy. See if I can figure out anything else before I move on to the next thing. Oh, I have king or kings. I guess it's like that. Oh gosh, like, right? Somebody might, I like you might be something that somebody really resonates with, wants to say to somebody, finally. There's, I'm not gonna spell it out, but you get my drift. Some of you may be saying it like it is and just laying it out there. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love this too, guys. I just have to keep doing this just because these are all seeds. You remember we got the seed. We got the seed to plant and to grow. I have to do that. I'm so sorry, but it's like I have that mind. Okay, you guys, so that is it for those. And let's have some fun. We've kind of talked a little bit about numerology, so I don't really need to go into that because we did cover that. But let's look at some charms here really quick and look and see what we have here in charms. Okay, web. I love this. Okay, so I got this charm. I bought it because spiders are just bomb. But also because I wanted something to indicate the web, the weaving of the web. So this could be somebody weaving a web of lies and that coming out in this type of energy. It can be, you know, spiders are incredibly intuitive. It's so weird. They can crawl across the roof, but they know when you're looking at them. And so this could be just being revealed. I feel like this is very Neptune and Pisces, very, very intuitive. Also, just the strength that comes from a spider's web is something that's in the symbology of the symbolism of a spider. Music is going to be important to some of you to get through this. You may receive like messages in music. You may turn to music to calm you, to guide you in a certain direction. Me versus me. I love this, guys. So me versus me just has to do with the fact that you stand in your own way. There is a tendency in this energy to feel like a victim. I'm gonna have to take a little drink here. To feel like a victim. Like you feeling sorry for yourself can happen when there's a square off with Neptune and Pisces energy. There's the need. It can also just be mental illness is on the rise, anxiety is on the rise, triggers are on the rise. All of this is because we've been stretched mentally to a capacity that we are at a culmination, at a limit to what more we can take. Okay, so this looks like a bottle. So maybe somebody is just thinking about having a baby. Maybe the way they expand their boundaries is to actually create a whole new life and to bring something new into the world. That could also be that seed, something to enrich your home life. That's possible. U.S. Marshals. God, I don't even want to talk about this, but come on, man. Really? We all know what's going on with that. I can't even talk about it because I get too worked up. And I'm trying to like do this reading to give me a rainbow. I love this because rainbows to me, when I was a little girl, I used to think I could actually find the end of the rainbow and that there would be some pot of luck. And so it kind of, this is very Sagittarian for me. And this also is just for, when I'm filming this, it's June and it is Gay Pride Month. And so it is an acknowledgement of that too, which I am an avid LGBTQ community advocate. I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. And then gears. This is just the working through things. When I think of a gear, I think of a clock face, and they're all working together to create a new outcome. I think of the protest. Not gonna lie, these remind me of the protests. All of us working together to create a new outcome and to create change in the world. We have the stingray, and the stingray in one of my books that I have, because I have this animal deck, the stingray it's a very peaceful animal, but when provoked can actually kill you. I mean, it's always moving and going, and it has a destination, but it's such an effortless destination. It can move being undetected. So those are all very much what's going on in our environment right now, as you know. And so be careful, because people are going to be very ignitable. And so we just want to be mindful that we don't push people too far. This is Sagittarius energy in a nutshell. This is just beautiful energy, a social butterfly, having a good time, absolutely beautiful, shining brightly, shining brighter than ever. There's such a, whenever I see anything, dragonfly, I just feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world, because I love them. We have a little Scotty dog, and they are so fiery. Scotty dogs are cray. They're just too fun. They're pint-sized little forces to be reckoned with. Let's put it that way. So we have the Queen of Clubs, 10 of Hearts. So we got the 5 of Swords, the the Queen of Clubs, the 10 of Hearts, the Jack of Swords, the 10 of Swords. Let's do this. I'm gonna put him there. I got a lot. I never get these when I do readings for myself. So we got the King of Hearts again, and we had, the King of Cups. So we had the King of Cups in the reading prior to this. And the 10 is the culmination. So that is the potential for something good, something wonderful, something emotionally fulfilling. We've got the Queen of Wands, and she is fierce. Dude, I don't know if you've ever gotten in a fight with a Sagittarius, but whew, that is some energy that and I think of the Queen as the feminine energy, because this is a lunar eclipse, which the lunar energy it is a much more feminine connected energy, even if it's in Wands, because Wands is a masculine energy. There's a divine feminine and masculine associated with this energy, because there's a duality in it, right? It's a mutable energy. And again, we just have this 5 of Wands. I think we had the 5 of Wands, if I'm not mistaken, in the reading. I can't remember. I know we had 5s in there. And that is just, it's the potential for conflict. It's the potential for, Sagittariuses love a good sparring match. Like, they just love their sparring matches. And so if you want to debate with somebody, if you want to give people your opinion right now, just remember that it has the potential to absolutely blow up in your face. And better be prepared to have a very debatable conversation about this, because everybody's going to be opinionated in this energy, and everybody's going to think they're right, and emotions are going to run high. So that is today's reading. I'll pull a couple numbers. Oh, we have the key. Unlocking the truth. Whenever I see a key, I think of unlocking the truth. Something was hidden and now you have the key to reveal it. It's also, but I'll pull a couple numbers for anybody who 64, 10, 79, 1, and 5. We've got 5 again, guys. 1, beginning, right? Anyhow, you guys, that is your reading for today. I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm getting my feet wet with this because I just decided that when you see a Sagittarius energy, you can't help but be like, okay, well, it's time to like get back out there and start doing what I do best, which is I love astrology and I love talking about this kind of stuff. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon.